Riftwalkers Radio is waiting for you.
Just step through the rift.
And discover a world of fantasy like you've never heard before.
All right, so are you ready to dive deep into this whole world building thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because we're going to be talking about a YouTube video by Ulysses and
yeah, I love Ulysses.
I know, right? They have such a cool way of explaining things, and I gotta say, when I first heard about world building, I was like, oh, that sounds so nerdy.
Yeah, I get it.
Like elves and dragons, no thank you. But after watching this video, my mind is blown.
Yeah, they really break down why world building is actually a super valuable thing. And
that everyone.
Not just for fantasy nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more like this, it's almost childlike, this sense of wonder and play that they talk about.
Yes, and they even talked about how they used to create these elaborate worlds in their head as a kid.
Oh, totally. I remember doing that too.
Remember building forts out of blankets and pretending it was a magical castle?
Oh my gosh, yes, all the time.
It's like that, but on a much grander scale. And
what I thought was really cool is that Ulysses actually said that tapping back into that childlike mindset can help us overcome creative blocks as adults.
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about how they are feeling stuck in their work, and then they started world building just for fun, and it totally reignited their creativity.
So it's not just about creating these fictional worlds, it's about unlocking something within ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Ulysses talked about how they were so focused on making money or getting recognition for their art, and it just took all the joy out of it.
Right.
World building for them was this way to create without judgment, to just play and explore for the pure fun of it.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal, but how does this translate to creating, actual art? I'm not going to suddenly start writing a fantasy novel.
That's the beauty of it. You don't have to.
Okay.
Ulysses actually thinks that world building can enrich any creative pursuit, even if you never write a single word.
Really?
They had this great example of a musician, Pilot Red Sky. Have you heard of them?
The name rings a bell.
They basically tell a story through their album art.
What?
Yeah, each cover is a scene from the life of this struggling artist, Percy Roger Smith.
Wait, so it's like a visual novel, but with music?
Kind of like Ulysses showed one album cover where Percy's standing on this rooftop, looking out at the city, and he's got paint splattered on his overalls. And his expression is you can just feel the weight of his dreams and his struggles.
Oh, wow.
And then in another cover, he's performing on a street corner, surrounded by this small but captivated audience.
So you're actually seeing his journey unfold through the artwork, and then the music adds another layer to the experience.
Exactly. It's like world building as a storytelling device.
Mm-hmm.
It just adds this whole other dimension to the music.
That's really cool.
Ulysses also mentioned another musician who created a whole fictional backstory for their album Gate. And it features these two non-human characters, David Wowski and Victor Fry.
Okay.
And the whole thing just sounds super intriguing.
That is pretty cool. It's the music is just one piece of this much larger world that you can get a glimpse into.
Yeah.
But let's be real, not everyone is a musician or an artist. Can regular people actually do world building?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Ulysses has these two exercises that anyone can try.
Okay.
The first one is called free-form sketching. Literally, just grab a pen and paper or open a blank document on your computer and let your imagination run wild.
So no rules.
No rules, no pressure, just pure creation.
So it's kind of like doodling, but with a purpose?
Yeah, you could say that the idea is to just let your mind wander and see what emerges.
Okay, that sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
What's the other exercise?
It's called directed daydreaming,
Okay.
and this is where you can really get creative with your everyday life. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see this, let's say a fire hydrant.
Oh.
But instead of being red, it's covered in these intricate carvings, like ancient hieroglyphics.
Whoa. Okay, I'm intrigued. What happens next?
Well, that's where the world building comes in. Who created those carvings? What do they mean? What secrets are hidden within them? Maybe that fire hydrant isn't a fire hydrant at all, but a portal to another dimension, guarded by a secret society of talking squirrels.
Talking squirrels. You're messing with me.
Maybe, maybe not. The point is, it's about taking something ordinary and transforming it into something extraordinary through the power of your imagination.
So it's not about following a formula, it's about finding the magic in the mundane.
Exactly, and that's what makes Ulysses' approach so refreshing.
Yeah.
They're not giving you a set of rules to follow. They're encouraging you to discover your own unique way of world building.
This is definitely making me rethink this whole concept of world building. It's not just about dragons and elves. It's about tapping into this creative energy that we all have within us.
Yeah, and the best part is there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Oh, really?
It's all about finding what sparks your imagination and brings you joy.
I'm already feeling inspired, but I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here. What else did Uluscri have to say about this whole world building thing?
One of the things I really liked about Uluscri's approach is how they talk about world building as a tool for deeper exploration.
Oh. Oh.
Not just exploring these fictional worlds, but exploring our own interests and passions.
Okay, I'm curious. How does world building help you, like, delve deeper into, say, a hobby?
Okay, let's take something as mundane as coin collecting.
Okay.
Now imagine, instead of just collecting coins, you start designing your own fictional currency.
So I'm making my own money now. I like where this is going.
Not in a counterfeit way, of course, but
Right.
think about it. You could create coins for different regions of your fictional world.
Okay.
Maybe one region is like this bustling port city with coins that depict ships and sea monsters.
Oh, cool.
Another could be like a hidden mountain kingdom with coins made from rare metals and etched with ancient runes.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean. Suddenly, it's not just about the physical coin anymore. It's about the story behind it, the history, and the culture that it represents.
Exactly. And that can lead you down all sorts of rabbit holes. You might start researching different historical currencies, learning about mythology and symbolism.
Right.
Who knows? You might even get inspired to create your own fictional language for the inscriptions.
That's actually really cool. It's like world building gives you this framework to, like, really geek out on your interests in a whole new way. It's not just collecting coins, it's building a whole universe around them.
Exactly. And it's
Okay.
not limited to coins.
Uh,
Uluscri was talking about how you could apply this to fashion design.
oh, okay.
Imagine designing clothes for the people who live in your fictional world.
Okay.
What would they wear in the desert city? What kind of fabrics and styles would they use in the Arctic region?
And then if you're really into it, you could actually try to make those clothes right.
Absolutely, you could. Or if you're more of a visual artist, maybe you would sketch those designs or paint scenes of people wearing those clothes.
Yep.
Uluscri even talked about using world gridding to explore theoretical physics.
Theoretical physics. That sounds a bit intense.
It might sound intimidating, but think of it like this.
Oh.
You're essentially building a world where the laws of physics are different.
Oh.
Maybe gravity works in reverse, or time moves at different speeds in different regions.
Okay, now that is starting to sound kind of fun. So what's stopping me from becoming the next Einstein?
Nothing, except maybe the complexities of actual physics.
Right.
But that's the point.
All right.
Uluscri emphasizes that world building isn't about being an expert in everything. It's about using your imagination to explore possibilities,
Yeah.
no matter how outlandish they may seem.
You know, when you put it that way, it really takes the pressure off. It's not about creating the perfect world. It's about letting your curiosity lead the way.
Exactly, and that's why Uluscri encourages people to ditch the tutorials and rule books.
Oh, really?
It's not about following someone else's formula. It's about finding what resonates with you, what makes your brain light up.
It makes me think about all those times I started a project with this grand vision in my head, only to get bogged down in the details and lose steam along the way. What if I just let go of that need for perfection and focused on the fun of exploration instead?
I think that's a brilliant insight.
Oh.
Uluscri actually talked about how they used to get so caught up in the idea of making money or getting famous from their art that it completely stifled their creativity.
Really?
World building helped them rediscover that sense of pure, unadulterated play. And that's when their best work emerged.
So it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say I'm on board with this whole world building thing. I'm having fun exploring my interests, letting my imagination run wild. How do I actually bring that back to my art to make it more meaningful and engaging?
That's where it gets really exciting. Uluscri believes that even if you're not writing a novel, you can use the world you've created to infuse your art with a whole new level of depth.
Okay, I'm all ears. Give me an example.
Let's say you're a musician.
Yeah.
Instead of just writing a song, imagine you're creating music that comes from your fictional world.
So, like, what kind of music would they play in an underwater kingdom? Whale songs and bubbling synthesizers.
Maybe, or something completely unexpected. That's the fun part.
Right.
You get to decide, who are the musicians in this world? What instruments do they play? What are their songs about?
I can see how that would add a whole new dimension to the music. It's not just a song anymore. It's a window into a whole culture and history.
Exactly, and there's just one example. Imagine you're a painter. Instead of just painting a landscape, What if you're painting a scene from your fictional world, a place that has meaning and history within that context?
Oh, wow. So even a simple still life could become this epic tale just waiting to be unraveled.
Precisely. It's like each piece of art becomes a portal to this hidden world that you've created, and your audience gets to glimpse a piece of it.
I'm starting to see the possibilities here. It's not just about making art, it's about building a whole universe around it.
And the best part is it doesn't have to be this grand, epic world. Yuluskry talked about how they find inspiration in the most mundane things, like a crack in the sidewalk or a discarded coffee cup.
So even something as simple as like a doodle in my notebook could be the start of a whole new world.
Absolutely. It's all about shifting your perspective, seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary.
This is definitely making me rethink my whole approach to creativity. It's not about being the most talented or skilled artist. It's about being curious, playful, and willing to explore.
And that's a journey that anyone can embark on. It's about reclaiming that childlike sense of wonder and letting your imagination lead the way.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling seriously inspired. But before we get too carried away with our own world-building adventures, I have a feeling Yuluskry has even more wisdom to share.
Okay, so we're back. And like my brain is buzzing
I know, right?
with all these ideas from
Yeah.
Yuluskry.
Yeah, they're so inspiring.
I never thought I'd be this excited about imaginary worlds.
It's kind of contagious, isn't it?
It is. You know, one thing that really stuck with me was this analogy they used about like a kid scribbling on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like kids just create for the pure joy of it,
Yeah.
right?
They don't care what anyone
They're
thinks.
totally absorbed in the moment, just lost in their own little world.
Right.
And Yuluskry is saying that's the kind of mindset we need to tap back into as adults, especially like when it comes to creative stuff.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the pressure to produce something perfect or successful
Right.
that we totally forget about the simple joy of creating.
Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
Yuluskry even admitted that they used to be driven by, that need for external validation, like likes and followers and all that stuff.
I feel that.
But they realized that it was actually stifling their creativity.
Yeah.
And world building for them became this way to just break free from those expectations
Yeah.
and just create for the pure pleasure of it.
It's like giving yourself permission to play again, to be a kid again. And I think that's a really powerful message, especially in today's world where everything is so competitive.
I agree. It's all about the outcome.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is Yuluskry actually found that when they let go of that need for control, their work became more original and interesting.
Really?
They weren't trying to force it.
Yeah.
They were just letting the ideas flow.
It's like that saying, let go of the outcome and the process will take care of itself.
Exactly.
But okay, before we all run off to build our own imaginary empires,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways we should remember from this deep dive?
Well, I think first and foremost, Yuluskry challenges us to reconsider what world building really is. It's not just for fantasy authors.
Right.
It's a creative practice that literally anyone can benefit from.
Yes, and I love how they emphasize that it's not about creating these massive, complex worlds right off the bat.
Totally.
It can be as simple as taking a walk in your neighborhood and asking, what if?
Yeah, what if that old oak tree in the park was actually a magical portal?
What if the pigeons on the sidewalk were spies for a secret organization?
Exactly. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Right.
About letting your imagination run wild and seeing where it takes you.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you might discover something new about yourself, about the world around you, or even about the nature of creativity itself.
I love that. So to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a little challenge inspired by Yuluskry.
Okay.
Think about something in your everyday life that you wouldn't normally consider that interesting.
Okay.
It could be your commute, your morning routine,
Yeah.
even the way you fold your laundry. Now ask yourself, what if?
Ooh.
What if there was a hidden story behind this seemingly mundane activity? What if there was a whole world waiting to be discovered just beneath the surface?
I like it.
Let your imagination be your guide and see where it takes you.
Who knows? You might surprise yourself with what you create.
Yeah.
And remember, there's no right or wrong way to world build. The only rule is to have fun and enjoy the journey.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of world building. We hope you found it as inspiring and thought-provoking as we did. Until next time, keep exploring.